we are not given enough experience in high school. Like, we could be learning real world shit, like how to budget, how to pay car insurance, how to know what car insurance means, how to rent an apartment, like what to do if you get fired, how to do a resume, how to interview for jobs. It's like I see these YouTube channels where people are like on the streets and on drugs, and they can't deal with real life, like 9 to 5. They can't deal with real life. So they make up their own reality of living on the streets. Well, you can only live that way for so long, and then like this is not a nomadic time where you just, at least in my state, like even Arizona, Nevada, California, like you can't just live out in the elements here. It's too freaking hot and you can die. And like this interview that I had on my channel for Leland, dude, he died this month. Okay, like 1 year later from his interview, he already had heart issues and he does drugs, and he just keeled over. Who knows what happened? He was rushed to the hospital eventually, and then he was in a coma, and his parents supposedly pulled the plug. That's what I'm told. Pulled the plug on him. He's dead. So like I've been dealing with that this month, which is, it is what it is. I'm just saying, like, there are channels that are devoted to the people that are already on drugs. They've already lost their way. I guess as I leave this channel, like, this is just my school project, and I'm just saying my advice as I leave, and I just do some reviews and funny commentaries and advice. Just know that, like, I truly believe in our youth. Like, I truly believe they're the future. Of course, they're going to make the changes or else suffer the consequences in the future, right? And I think, like, they're already suffering by technology and internet and everything. I just think is bad for kids. I do. Like, I saw this story recently about 2 first graders on school iPads recording doing inappropriate things to each other. First grade. It absolutely is a different time, and it's not really like, anyways. So what I'm saying is, if I could help some youth, like in high school, middle school, anything, just have a little bit better understanding of the world, how it works, from like a big sister, cousin, mom type of point of view, not just someone telling you what to do. I think this, again, channel started for my daughter, like wanting to give her advice, but now I realize, like, she's actually going to go out and get advice from others, like, mom doesn't know anything and blah blah blah. So now I'm like, okay, so I guess I could only reach the other little 11-year-olds out there, to 15 to 17-year-olds. I think that's just such an important freaking age range that I don't know, as society, are we just completely neglecting? Like, that is a determining path of someone's life, who they are as a teenager, like early adulthood, late teens, especially early 20s. Are we making sure that they have the skills necessary to have kids, to have child development courses in high school where they learn about, raising a freaking family, male and females? Like, are we giving them coping mechanisms and job skills and training? And not just saying, like, oh, I can't use the word training. Okay, job skills and employment features. And the thing about being an adult is it's so difficult to adult, right? Like, just 15 years of paying bills, paying rent, paying fees, paying taxes, and just like pretty much, I have some things that have gone to collections, but nothing major, like a repo or bankruptcy, like nothing huge. But I've had my share of late payments. I've only gone negative on my checking account like twice, because I took that very seriously. I was like pretty good about that. That's how people get to live on the streets, not care about life, is because they let those things just take over, and then they stop caring. And combine that with like an addiction, which an addiction is just to cope with or cover up emotional trauma, and that generally happens when we're children. So if we haven't like talked to someone, a therapist or an auntie or grandma or someone like kind of not right in the middle of our family, like if we haven't done that, then I don't think we've healed. And I just think that we all have to talk to somebody or a few somebodies to not just cover up our childhood and say it is what it is. Like, you have to speak your truth at some point. You have to say to God, like, this is my truth, what do I do with it? Or you'll just be like my friend Leland, who is now dead, who passed out mad at his parents. His car was, he was on his way up there to get his car supposedly, and it was like smashed in, or who knows what happened to it, because he left it there to get on a bus to come home. That's a whole nother story. Like, if you're not dealing with your childhood trauma with a therapist, in my opinion, like, and not just any therapist, like a school counselor, a guidance counselor, a mandated court counselor, just someone who's in that profession probably cares about people. Like, you don't get into this type of work and have to do all this certifications and schooling and whatnot because you want to go hurt people. Unless you're just a deviant, like, freaking Satanist, then yeah. I'm just saying, like, find someone down to earth. A Christian would be ideal because, like, at least there is a sense of God, right and wrong, evil, hell, and heaven. I mean, just my opinion, right? And if I could have gone back, talked to my younger self, I'd just be like, look, I would insist that, especially around 17, 18, just be able to talk to somebody, like, a few times for maybe a month, a couple months, just talking to a therapist. Because, like, when I was 16, I think 15, 16, I was court mandated to have a therapist, and otherwise I wouldn't have. And, like, guys, my dad had died when I was 14. Nobody thought at school or at home, like, maybe she should talk to somebody. Just this 14, 15-year-old, maybe she should talk to somebody. Yes, they should talk to somebody. My gosh. And, like, this lady didn't get into, like, all the deep, intimate details of my life or anything. She just somehow sort of let me know, like, in a weird sense, like, I was okay. And, like, maybe to question my upbringing a little bit, because I don't know how much she knew that I was even in a religious cult, but I think that came up, and she just helped me to feel like a little more normal, right? And when we have to reach kids is friggin' from their teenage ages. We can't send them out into their 20s, like, obviously not having trauma healing. That should be a freaking required course in school, not stupid algebra and trigonometry and bullshit, dumb shit. Like, they need to be talking about their feelings and why dad left or why mom left, or did they have a great childhood? Maybe those kids could be peer counselors for other kids. And anyways, guys, all we can do is, like, our own part in society. Take it upon yourself to get healing and counseling. And no matter really what age you are, but the sooner the better. I had a counselor again when I was, like, I guess 15 or 16. And she just, I guess, kind of helped me because I stayed off of drugs. I stayed out of jail. I went to college. I did the whole picket fence, whatever, life. And it was fine. Like, it really was. It was great not being addicted to drugs or alcohol. Because, again, life is hard enough. Life is difficult as it is. Just going out into the world, not getting a ticket, not getting in an accident, not having a surprise, crazy, an astronomical bill when you get to the post office. Just stressful shit. Like, your dog gets sick, your dog dies, your car breaks down, your tire goes flat. you get fired. Like, all these real life things are so scary to deal with. That's all I'm saying. So, like, you want to make sure you have people in your corner to, like, kind of turn to for advice, or I've felt that way too, or I know what you're feeling. It just helps. Like, it just helps so much. And that's why I'll just make the videos for my channel with, like, other people's opinions and my own, so we can help you guys in some way. But there's gonna be, like, all the trolls that are like, meh. So to them, whatever, like, cool. I'm not gonna die thinking that I never gave advice to people who maybe were searching for it. Like, right? Like, I'm not just gonna make somebody hear me, but if someone wanted to hear advice and opinions, I feel like I have a very somewhat grounded, can see both sides of the picture type of mind frame, which is good for somebody who's working with kids and parents and teachers and adults. Like, I want to be on both sides. I truly do. Some cases I'll probably be on one side more than the other, but that's just what I have to deal with as a school counselor or teacher or what have you. And that's for my next 20 years at least. And I just have to, like, go into it with awareness of, like, kids really are being tortured at home sometimes, and then sometimes they're tortured at school, and, like, how can I actually reach them, and how do I talk to them about intimate, horrible things that maybe have happened in their lives. So I'm learning, right? Like, I'm just facing literal reality and what people are out there facing. And the videos about people on the streets just makes me, like, just reiterates that we have to try to bring awareness that kids need more guidance in high school and even middle school. You know, trade type professions, typing skills. Are we teaching kids how to even freaking type and how to do, like, actual good math to be able to budget and save and, you know, rely on themselves? Who was on the streets in Phoenix, and she's been on the streets for like 2 or 3 years. She has 3 boys, age 5 and 4 and 2, and it's like, it's just such a sad, vicious cycle, because now she's missing out on 3 little lives. They're gonna know that mom's not here, mom doesn't love me, why doesn't mom love me? And, like, it's easy for people to look at her like, how could she live on the street? Well, like, there is a reason people choose to live on the street and avoid their responsibilities and their lives. And so we just freaking have to make sure that our kids are getting, like, literal emotional and physical and good attention in school. Like, not physical, like, you know, PE and stuff, sports. Like, they're getting that good camaraderie, like, team type of spirit, whether it's even in art class or journalism or yearbook or something. They're getting, like, a sense of, I guess, teamwork, right? Because that's what you really have to have in the real world, is be able to read people and be able to work as part of a team, one way or another. Smaller teams, bigger teams, as part of a job, as part of society, college, you have to be able to work in a team. And it's just really sad that, like, we don't give enough mental health attention to our younger kids who really need it. And, like, it should just happen sooner. We might have a more capable society, you know, if our youth has more strength and confidence and capabilities in themselves.